7 o'clock, we have a quorum. Open the meeting. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First order, approval of the last minutes. What's the council's feeling?
Move to approve.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second.
And if you guys could say your names when you make the motions again, that would be helpful.
Greg Van Leer, second.
Chris Gerald made the motion.
Mr. Pato, could you move your microphone in front of you, please? Thank you, sir.
How's that? Have a show of hands for
We couldn't pick it up here.
all the ayes.
Aye.
Any nays? It's passed. Open the public meeting. We want to elect a council president. What's the feeling of the council?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Greg Van Leer as council president.
Okay. Do we have a second? Okay, the motion is stopped.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Tom Pato to be president of the council for 2020.
Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Aye.
The motion is passed. I nominate Dave Winters for vice president.
I'll second that motion.
Go ahead.
Running the meeting, you cannot make any motions. You run the meeting on the procedural process, and so the motions and seconds have to be made by the other members of the council.
Okay.
I move to nominate Dave Winters for vice president.
Do I have a second?
Can I second it? Nope. Okay.
Motion has failed.
I'd like to nominate Greg Van Leer for vice president.
Do I have a second? Motion has failed. What do we do now?
Any other nominations prior to closing the slate? If not, then I would have to look at your local rules, and I'm not sure how they speak on this, but generally speaking, if motions fail for lack of a second, you can't bring them back up, except for I know that you have a local rule in which you can change on the meeting afterwards. So that's a little bit different. But at this time, neither Councilman Van Leer's or Councilman Winters' nominations received a second, and so we would be looking at other members if there's other nominations.
I'll make a motion to nominate Chris Gerald for vice president.
Do I have a second? Motion has failed. Any more?
I'll make a motion that we nominate Nancy as vice president.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. David Winters.
Do I have a show of hands for yes?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Nancy, you're vice president. Department liaisons. I think before I go to that, I would like to say something. I'm very honored to serve the town of Danville and grateful for your continued trust in me. I'm also pleased and honored to have been selected as the 2020 Council President. To my fellow council members, I look forward to working with you, most of you for the first time, for the betterment of Danville and its citizens. The last years have been challenging for the town, and discourse has often taken a diverse nature. When you look across our nation, it is clear that Danville is not alone. Looking forward as Council President, I will work hand in hand with my fellow council members, Danville representatives and employees, the clerk treasurer, and most importantly, the citizens, to forge a bright, unified path for the town. It is important to always remember that it is healthy to have differing opinions, as long as we keep the best interests of Danville at the forefront and are civil to one another. This is my goal this year. Specifically, we will take advantage of the recently enacted food and beverage tax and use the proceeds to begin constructing much-needed connective and recreational paths. These paths will benefit the health and enjoyment of the town's citizens and will also help connect Danville to other communities. We already have representatives from the town in leadership roles throughout Accelerating Indiana Municipalities, AIM, from our town manager participating in the board of directors to our clerk treasurer's position on the board of trustees for the AIM Medical Trust. This is momentum and recognition that I would like to continue to build upon. Again, thanks to all for your Thanks to all for your continued trust and faith in me. I do not take the privilege of serving as your town council president lightly. I look forward to working with my colleagues and town citizens while making sure that the best interests of Danville and its citizens are always at the forefront. Okay, the board appointments here, there's quite a few of them. And what I would like to do is put all of them to the next meeting. What's the feeling of the general consensus that we do this on a work study?
I would make a motion that we delay the board appointments until the second January meeting.
A second. David.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All against? Motion has been passed. The other thing we can do, I'm going to appoint the liaisons today. So Parks is Dave Winter. Fire is Chris Gerald. Police is Nancy Levitt. I'll take utilities. And Public Works is Greg. So I think now it's conflict of interest forms.
Mr. President. Mr. President, point of order. You called for a work study session. We need to establish that. I know you said we could do this on the second meeting on the 21st, but you also indicated you'd like to have a work study. So do you want to do a work study, or do we want to just table everything until the next meeting?
All right, I'd like to do a work study an hour before the next town meeting, which is
21st?
Yeah. So are you guys okay with 6 o'clock on that day?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll put out the appropriate notices.
Okay. Thanks, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jenny, are you going to, do we go through the forms up here?
I just have the conflict of interest form for you guys to sign, the nepotism form, and then there's an internal controls video that each one of you need to watch. We can maybe play that at the next work study if you guys want to be here at 5:30. It's about a 30-minute video. If everyone would be available to be here at 5:30 that night instead.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Pardon?
I would like to address item number 4, 2020 meeting dates.
Yes.
I would like to make a motion that starting in February, that we would move the council meetings from Monday night to Wednesday night and move up the date or the time to 6 o'clock.
How's the feeling of everybody?
Second that.
If I can, may I say something? I don't have a problem with the date change or the day change. And this isn't about me, obviously. It's more challenging for me the first 3 or 4 months to get to a 6 o'clock meeting, but I could certainly make it work.
Would 6:30 accommodate?
Nancy? Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
So do we have to,
I'll restate the motion. I'd like to make a motion to move our Monday meetings to Wednesdays, starting in February, and for the start time to be 6:30.
all in favor? All against?
Mr. President, I have two issues, if you may.
So that means the next meeting will be on the second Monday, and then when we get into February, we'll start.
Go ahead.
So on the, I'm going to go back on the work study, then have we moved it to 5:30 then? Is that accurate?
No.
For the work
Yes,
study
for
on
June 21st,
the
yes.
21st, you
January
want to do that at 5:30?
All right.
Yes.
All
On the
right.
21st.
And then, if I understand the motion correctly, starting the first meeting in February, you want to go to Wednesdays?
Correct.
Okay. And then, do you want to stay on the same rotation of the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday?
Yes.
That'll be first and second Wednesday of every month.
First and third.
Third, yeah, that's right.
6:30, first and third. All righty.
I guess if we find conflicts, we can probably change.
Thank you. That's all I have, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we're down to public comments. Any public comments? Claim dockets?
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? What's the council feeling on adjournment?
I have one other thing, Mr. President, I'm sorry.
Say again?
I have one other thing, one other issue.
Oh, we'll go around the horn.
That's all right. I just want to make sure everyone knows there is another application in front of you for the Redevelopment Commission. It didn't come in at the time that I put the packets together. So if you'll please make sure you get those in your packets for your work study at 5:30 on the 21st. That is the school's representative for the Redevelopment Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Around the horn, Mark?
That's all I have, sir.
If there's no further business, I make a motion that the meeting be adjourned.
Okay, just 1 second. Got to go around the horn,
Okay.
or whatever we call it. Jenny? Greg?
I just want to say that it's going to be really exciting to serve with this council. I'll say the view from up here is different than in the audience, and where I've been for a number of years. So look forward to working with all of the staff, and we're going to make it a great year.
I want to ditto that sentiment. I'm really happy to be up here, and I'm excited about what we can do here in Danville. I know everyone on here has a lot of valuable input that they can provide to the town, and I'm honored to be sitting on this side too. It's the first thing I said when I got up here. It's a little different view up here, and a heck of a lot more responsibility. So I think we all take it very seriously. I know I do, and I'm happy to be serving.
Nancy?
I want to ditto those sentiments, and even though I did move to adjourn, it's not because I want to get out of here. I think this is a big honor for me to be in this situation, in this setting. And I thank everyone for coming.
Chris?
Welcome, new council members. I look forward to working with all of you. Congratulations, Tom, on your appointment. Let's make 2020 better than 2019.
I also feel that it's going to be a good year for us. We've got a lot of good council people here, a lot of wealth of knowledge, and I look forward to a good year. Adjournment? Now you can do it.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against? Meeting is closed. Thank you very much, everybody.